This break is brought to you by Netflix. Stream all of your favorite anime right to your consoles, your computers, mobile devices with a free 30-day trial that you can sign up for over at netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. Now, Blizzard has launched yet another official feature that is designed to give you a more official hands-on look at World of Warcraft's lore. With me to talk a little bit more about this is GameBreaker writer Callum Lawrence. Now, Cal, what do you think of this new feature overall?
This new feature is actually, I really like it because it's got some of the things that they've been releasing over the past few months, like the short stories in the leaders of the Horde and the Alliance. That's something that I've been paying close attention to. It's like, you get these short stories of, I'm pretty sure everyone here has at least had a look at them, if not read all of them. You get this good insight into all of the big leaders of World of Warcraft, and they've got that just accompanied with all of the other things, just giving you a more in-depth look at the lore. I mean, sure, you can go and quest in the game, but this thing here is like, you can talk about Gallywix, like Vol'jin, Varian, and then it's also got links to all of the big novels that I'm pretty sure that everyone has heard of and everyone wants to check out, but they just don't know where to really go. It's like you can look around at Amazon for the novels and the comics and stuff like that, but everything that you want to know outside of the game for lore is all right here. So I'm really excited just to check all of these things out, because there's so much for me that actually gets hands on here. It's just such a really great tool to have everything right there in one place.
Now, looking into some of these short stories, I mean, these go pretty in detail. I mean, they're practically a book of reading. You know, this is 11 pages, and this is just one of the stories. Do you think that how in depth these are worth taking the time to take a glance at?
Definitely. Even if it's just like you want to check out your leader's things, so say if you're like a human, you just want to check out the Varian story, it's definitely worth checking out all of these things, because like you said, it's like a mini book. All of these things are so fun to read because it just gives you, I mean, if you're an in-depth role player, or if you just really like the lore like me, just giving this a look at just gives you a sense of like, oh, I actually know why Varian's called Legosh now. I can look back at his old gladiator career. It's like, some people don't know, because some people just saw him appear in back in previous expansion and be like, oh, where did this bloke come from? It's like, he just appeared in Wrath of the Lich King, and wasn't his son the king before him, and he just appeared out of nowhere, and people didn't actually know the story of Varian. If you have a good look into it, it's just a good sense of history, because let's face it, a lot of people don't really read the quest text in some of their things, and like the Cataclysm questing thing, it gives you a good sense of the lore, but if you don't really want to read the quest text, you just want to quest, just head over here, and it's just got these like short stories that delivers everything that you would in the game in just this story form, which in my opinion is the best way to deliver a story, in like, obviously in a story form, better than questing yourself in game.
But what about the fact that we already have sites like WoWWiki out there that kind of did a lot of the information presenting for people? Is this going to steal away and almost hurt fan sites that are designed around lore? I mean, we saw this kind of with database websites once they came out with the Dungeon Journal. Could this end up hurting them?
It could, to some extent, if they really expand this. I mean, the way that some of the sites like WoWWiki work is that if like you go over to Wowhead, it tells you the exact locations of some NPCs and other things. Like, it's like, oh, where can I do these quests for, say, that involve Bane Bloodhoof, and you can find out there's things in there. So that level of in-depthness that you find out in something like that, where you get direct links to the story, because when you go to sites like that, it tells you bluntly, outright, what happens to them. It's like, okay, so this person was involved in the Ashbringer story this way and that way and this way, but this thing is more in-depth story driven. Like the way you said, it's such in-depth story that goes on for 12 paragraphs in more of an editorial form. So if you want to enjoy the lore in the fact that you're reading a book, this is definitely going to hands down replace things like WoWWiki and that. But I feel like the main reason people want to go to sites like that is to get just a snappy quick read. It's like, oh, I just read up about this guy and I just want to find out instantly what he's done, where he is,
how he connects, and what he did, like what's going on. Yeah, and I think that's, I personally think that's the beauty of sites like WoWWiki. But I mean, I guess this feature's here for you guys if you want it presented to you, as Cal said, in much more of a book form. Now, the one other feature here is manga and comics area. But being as you actually have to pay for these, this isn't a service that they just offer that you can view on the site. Do you have any recommendations for people that are maybe wanting to jump in and buy some of these since they have to spend some of their money?
Well, if you look at the the actual books area, there's quite a few books, and there's like lots of them. People won't know really what to pick up. I would definitely recommend the Arthas book, because the Arthas book was the first one that really came to my mind, the Rise of the Lich King one, and it's so good because I'm pretty sure everyone played Wrath of the Lich King. We all know who Arthas is, and this is just a good in-depth story for the people that didn't actually play the RTSs, because it follows the story of Arthas before the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. It's like it's all the way from his youth, from like when Invincible died, and his tragic, like the whole way his entire life was revolved around the loss of his horse and stuff like that. And you get a more in-depth feel of the way Arthas. So if you want to look for a book, definitely go for Wrath of the Lich King's, the Arthas one. And for a comic, I definitely say pick up the Ashbringer, because another thing, if you really enjoyed the fact of the Wrath of the Lich King thing, you didn't know where Ashbringer was, because let's face it, a lot of people didn't know the story of the Ashbringer, or how it like transcend with the Scarlet Monastery, and because everyone knows about the event that the Ashbringer does in the Scarlet Monastery and one of the Four Horsemen. You don't know how this came to be, and it's a brilliant comic. It's like I've got them and I've read all of them, and they're so good. And it's definitely not just for the fact that it's a really good Warcraft story in itself, it's actually a really good comic to pick up. So I definitely recommend picking up the Ashbringer.
All right, guys. Well, new feature just launched right now on World of Warcraft's website, so be sure to go check it out. It's got a whole bunch of lore for you guys. For all of your World of Warcraft news, be sure to catch Legendary every Thursday at 8 p.m. PDT, and we'll see you guys next time.